Dr. Shankar Venugopal is a distinguished technology leader, currently Vice President at Mahindra Research Valley, where he drives technology innovation, intellectual property, and knowledge management for Mahindra's automotive and farm services business. As Dean of Mahindra Technical Academy, he also nurtures the next generation of engineers. Before Mahindra, he held key innovation leadership roles at GE, Dow, Honeywell, and Cummins, earning 10 international patents and multiple product innovation awards. A TEDx speaker and one of the World Innovation Congress's top 50 innovative leaders, Dr. Shankar is also a passionate educator, mentoring innovators worldwide. His interdisciplinary curiosity in physics, philosophy, and psychology fuels his ability to foresee technological breakthroughs. Let's welcome the trailblazer shaping the future of mobility, Dr. Shankar Venugopal.
Vanakkam friends, Shankar from Mahindra. Very happy to be with you all here today as part of this very special event. And what I thought we could discuss about today is a lot of very exciting innovations, developments happening in the space of mobility, which is the world of moving people, moving goods across. What are those real excitement out there? So you heard from Dr. Arun Sampath just a few minutes back about AI and the wonders that AI has been doing. Today, in the next few minutes, you will also hear something about what's exciting when it comes to cars, what to expect for the next few years. A lot of what I'm going to share with you today is just what's going to happen over the next 5 years, 2030. So we are that close to all the exciting innovations that we'll get to hear right now. If we can have, yeah. So mobility 2030 is what I'm going to talk about. It's not very far away. It's just 5 years from now. And I am Shankar Venugopal. I am based at the Mahindra Research Valley, which is just about 50 kilometers from here. If you really like what I said over the next few minutes, you're all welcome to come over to the Research Valley and see for yourself all the exciting innovations that are really shaping the future of mobility. It's an open invitation to all of you out here. If we can move to the next slide. So what we are going to do in the next few minutes is to visualize what mobility will look like over the next 5 years, how we can imagine how it should be, and how we can actually all innovate and contribute ideas to making this a reality. This is what I'm going to cover in the next about 20 minutes or so. We can have the next chart. Today, if you look at mobility, it's not a very rosy picture. We do see cities like Delhi suffering from the emission from vehicles, where the levels of pollution is something very worrying. We don't want that to happen to our city, Chennai. We want to make sure that we are able to address the pollution coming from vehicles. Next, we do see a lot of accidents that happen when vehicles move at great speeds. And today, technology allows us to completely prevent these accidents. And that's something we should definitely look into today to see how technology can help us out there. The third is, I also split my time between Chennai and Bangalore. If you are lived in Bangalore, you know how bad the traffic jams are. This we don't want to happen to Chennai. How do we protect Chennai from traffic jams? And also today, we will briefly touch upon what's exciting happening when it comes to manufacturing of the cars and also the way we can upgrade and maintain our cars. I'll give you a glimpse of all these 5 areas to see what's in store over the next 5 years. It's very exciting. I want to share this with you so that you can all be part of this exciting journey out there. Now the next chart. Friends, I want to share my vision before we really go further on this. My vision is something very simple. By the year 2030, which is just 5 years from now, we want to have cars which have zero emission. Absolutely no emission, the cleanest cars that you can ever think of. So how many of you believe that it is possible to have a car with zero emission by the year 2030? Can we have a raise of hands? I'm so happy. This is the best crowd I have been. I'm so happy to see people who are so positive about this. And the second is zero accidents. Absolutely zero accidents. How many of you believe this is possible? Thank you. Thank you for that. So I see fewer hands for zero accidents. Then I'm going to move to the more challenging target, zero traffic jams. How many of you believe this is possible? Zero traffic jams. Thank you, sir. Anybody else? We just have one supporter out here. One more? No. You say it's not possible. Okay, we'll come to that. So friends, I see one more there. Thank you. One more, three. Three people who believe that we can achieve zero traffic jams. That's very interesting. I'm also going to talk about zero waste, where there's absolutely no carbon footprint that is left out while manufacturing these vehicles. And very quickly, you will all come to the conclusion that this is something possible and we can do it over the next 5 years. That's a message I want to get across to this crowd today. If you can have the next chart. What gives me the confidence that we can achieve this as a community here today is 4 technologies, rather 5: electric, connected, autonomous, and what we call as a software-defined vehicle. It's a combination of these technologies which makes me feel absolutely confident that by the year 2030 we can have a car which emits absolutely nothing, zero emission, and we can totally avoid accidents, and the best part is no traffic jams. We'll be able to manage all cities without any traffic jams. All these are possible, and if you invest in these technologies that I'm going to lay out to you right now. And this is all very close. 5 years' time, one can realize this dream. You can move to the next chart. Friends, here is a bunch of technology that was never in your car even 5 years back. All these technologies are into the car that you will get to buy today. And you will see more of it over the next 5 years' time frame. These are technologies which are the best in their class, world-class technologies, brought to you at an Indian price point today in the vehicles that are available to you. It could be an electric car with smart connected features, autonomous navigation features, and there's a steadily rising amount of software and electronics that goes into this car. Believe me, this wasn't there 5 years back, but today all of us can go out to the market and buy a car which brings all these technologies to you. There's a convergence of multiple technologies which has never ever happened in the past, and for the first time in the history of automotive, you are seeing a convergence of very powerful technologies. That's what gives me the confidence that one can achieve zero emission, zero accidents, and zero traffic jams. The next chart, what was the traditional automotive industry is totally getting redefined. We call it the mobility industry, which is a convergence of 3 industries: automotive, energy and power, and infrastructure. All these 3 big industries are coming together to define the mobility industry of the future, and this future is not a very far future, but just 5 years from now, 2030. It's happening today, and you will see more of it in the years ahead. Next chart. Now, having visualized that we want to achieve zero emission, zero accidents, zero traffic jams, we also want to imagine what it will be like 5 years from now, because that's what is going to motivate us towards making that happen. Now let's move to the next chart. I have laid before you 4 scenarios how you want Chennai to be by the year 2030. You have 4 images. The first one on the extreme left, the next the red and gray one, then there's a golden yellow one, and then there's a green one. So let's quickly have a raise of hands. For the extreme left, the first one which looks like science fiction. How many of you want Chennai to be like that? Anybody? Okay, there are a few people who want Chennai to be like this. The red and gray, the middle picture. Anybody wants Chennai to be like that? Anybody here? No? The golden yellow. Do you want your Kattipara to look like golden yellow? Okay. The most important one, the green one down there. You like it? Thanks for that. Oh, so happy. There are so many of you who want Chennai to be green. Great. Part of my name is Madras Venugopal Shankar. So part of my name is Madras. I want to make sure that we are really moving, picking up the right ideas and making Chennai the best possible place to live in. So let's look at how we can make this happen. The next chart. Friends, there are 4 scenarios of how things can shape up in the next 5 years. I have named them the Rajasa, Sattva, Tamasa, and Vinasha. Rajasa is where there is a lot of dynamic activity, a lot of new technologies, like how Dr. Arun explained, so much of AI, machine learning, data science, generative AI, agentic AI, you name it. A lot of dynamism, a lot of new technologies coming in, and we are all able to see amazing new products which are leveraging all these technologies. That's the first scenario. Second is Sattva. where we consciously decide that our decisions should have the minimal impact on the environment. Some of us start walking, some of us start using a cycle, some of us avoid all these flights and try to do meetings in Zoom and whatnot and try to leave as minimal a carbon footprint as possible. That is one scenario, which is a sattva scenario, where consciously I decide I will do things which are good for the environment. Then the third is tamasa, where inertia. We expect someone to solve the problem and we just continue to do whatever we have been doing, thinking that this is what we have been doing for a very long time. Nothing happened, so nothing will happen. We'll just continue. Somebody will address the problem. That can very well happen because that's a very familiar scenario, tamasa. The last one, vinasha, we should not even talk about it in this August gathering, but that is also a reality if you don't act on it today. But friends, all these four scenarios are equiprobable today, and you have to decide which of these scenarios you want to be in 5 years from now. Because your children and your grandchildren are going to live in one of these scenarios, and we should all think, what is it that we can do towards making this the right decision and we are moving towards the right scenario, be it Rajasa, Sattva, Tamasa or Vinasha. Now comes to what is it that we can do. We can have the next chart. Please move to the next chart. The last piece of my talk today, how are we going to innovate to make sure that we leave a clean environment, clean mobility and clean energy for the generations to come. If you can move to the next chart. First thing is what we have seen work very brilliantly for many of the innovations that we have pursued at Mahindra is we have all been trained to solve problems, especially technical problems, using our analytical brain. This is what we have learned in the classroom. This is what we learned from our mentors. Everywhere it is using our knowledge, our engineering skills, science skills and math to solve problems. If only we can bring our empathetic heart to solve problems along with the analytical brain. We call this as a human-centered design. That's what we try to do when we design vehicles at the Mahindra Research Valley out here. If we can bring the highly empathetic heart along with the strong analytical mind, the kind of ideas that we would come up with, the kind of solutions that we will create will be some of the best in the world. We have, having realized this, we made sure that every single engineer at Mahindra is trained to pursue a human-centered design. We call this as design thinking, and that's the kind of vehicles you get to see in the market today, which is coming not just from engineering skills, but the ability of the engineer to empathize with the end user and address those pain points of the users and really use engineering to empower the user. That's what we define by this human-centered design. This is the first and foremost thing that goes into creating the future of mobility. If you can move to the next chart, I want to narrate a story to you. Anybody here from Kerala? Any part of Kerala? Anybody here? Thank you for this. This goes back to a king in Kerala who was very fond of chess. So he used to organize many chess tournaments in his court. And one day a wise old gentleman walks into the court and says, let's play a game of chess. And the wise man says the reward should be just a single grain of rice for the first square of the chessboard. Just keep doubling it, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128, 256, 512, 1024, 2048. So it's just a simple doubling, but just grains of rice. So the king gladly accepts and then they start playing the game. And as luck would have it, the wise old man wins the game. Now the king has to give the reward amount. That's when they do the actual math. If we can just click once. Can you guess how much rice that could be? 100 bags of rice, 1,000 bags, 10,000 bags. Just click, please. Move to the next slide. Friends, that's a math. You just keep on doubling. There are 64 squares across the chessboard. What you end up with amount of rice that it would take 2,000 years for you to collect, even if you are collecting all the rice grown across the globe. 2,000 years you have to wait to give the reward amount. The king, that's when the king realizes that it's the God himself who had come to play chess with him. So that's the Ambalapura temple that the king builds for Krishna. And till today, they give pal payasam, which is made out of rice and milk. because the king owed so much rice to the god. He has promised us a reward amount. And till today, they do that. So if you are anywhere in Kerala, please do make sure that you visit this Ambalappuzha Krishna temple and taste this pal payasam. There is the story behind this. But you may wonder, I was talking about technology, why did I suddenly switch over to chess and pal payasam? There is a reason, friends. To understand the connection, all you have to do is look at your smartphone that you are carrying with you. If you can just move to the next chart. That's Moore's law, which said computing power will double every 18 months. And your smartphone has a lot more computing power than a supercomputer center of even the early 2000s. Imagine a multi-storied building with such high-performance computers and your humble smartphone that you're carrying in your pocket. Today, your phone has more computing power. That's because it's been doubling every 18 months. We started with very small numbers, but we are with unimaginably big numbers in terms of computing power, which makes it so affordable and accessible to all of us here today. So when Dr. Arun Sampath talked about AI and the power of AI, honestly, we are talking about bringing this power to the car. We are talking about the car being powered by AI, the decisions being made by AI. That's the kind of computing power that your car will have. That's the reason I firmly believe that with this tremendous power in technology, one can achieve zero emission, zero traffic accidents, and zero traffic jams. All these are possible because we have an amazingly powerful technology at our hands today, and that's going to power your car. It's not the engine that's driving your car, but it's this AI and the powerful technology associated with that that's going to drive your car. If you can move one chart. And friends, the good news is it's not just one technology, computing, which is doubling. There are at least 12 such technologies which are all growing exponentially. You talk about cloud, you talk about robotics, AI, machine learning, batteries that goes into the cars, and the manufacturing, the additive manufacturing, the robotics that goes into a manufacturing plant. You can visit our plant in Chakan in Pune. That's where you see it's completely handled by robotic arms, and that's a state-of-the-art technology that happens across sectors in India today. I'm just giving you an example from automotive, but you'll see similar things happening in multiple industries across. All these technologies are like Aladdin's genie. Imagine you are Aladdin and you have this lamp, you rub, the genie comes. You have 12 such genies coming out to you if you are an automotive engineer, and they are asking you, Master, what can I do for you? So you have such powerful genies at your dispense if you are trying to build world-class cars sitting here at the Mahindra Research Valley here in Chennai. But with these technologies, you can build cars which are not only best in India, but best across the world. That's a tremendous power that technology gives you today. And all these are packed into a car that you and I will be able to buy and use. And not very far from future, it's already happening today, and you'll see more of it. For Mahindra, we have announced 5 new electric vehicles over the next 3 years time frame. So you will see more and more of these technologies coming into your cars in the years ahead. If you can move one more slide. Friends, if such powerful genies are at our expense, and if the genie asks you, what can I do for you? And if you say, please get me a cup of coffee, that's not the best use of the genie. You need to think of challenges that are worthy of the genie so that you can really solve the big problems using this powerful technology. And those big problems are problems like zero emission, zero accidents, and zero traffic jams. These problems were very complex and people thought you can't solve a few years back, but today we can very confidently say that we can solve these problems, and also we can come up with solutions which are affordable for all of us today. That's a unique advantageous position that we are in there today. You can move to the next chart. So gone are those days when we are thinking of small improvements. Today, technology allows us to really think big and aim for exponential improvements. And that's what we should all do. But we should also remember that it's a connected world today. Something somewhere happening in, say, in remote part of Taiwan can affect something else happening in the US or in India or in China or in Germany. So somebody mentioned Vasudeva Kudumbakam earlier in the talk today. The whole world is one family, and you will see it in technology and industry also. Everything is connected. So you should be keeping track of every small development that's happening across the globe and make sure that you are proactive enough to respond to changes wherever it happens. it becomes very important for you to take this kind of a holistic look rather than just limiting ourselves to India or just one industry, which is the automotive industry. Every single thing, wherever it happens, it affects everything else. That's a world that we are in today. It's a connected world. If we can move to the next chart. I want to wrap it up with telling you one secret sauce that we have with us here today, which we have perfected in the automotive industry and which could very well work for you if you are from any other industry. That's a very powerful method that we use called TRIZ, with which you can solve some of the most difficult problems. That's what gives us the confidence that we can also solve the problem of emission, accidents, and the traffic jams. This method has been perfected over the last 50, 60 years, and it's been used by companies across the globe. We want to bring this to Chennai. We want to make sure that every single engineer in Chennai really is able to use this and build world-class solutions, not just for Indian market, for global markets. The basis of this is, when we solve problem, many times we think we are the first to solve a problem. But what this says is, there are similar problems that are already being solved by others in some other domain. And if we can only know about it, then you'll be able to borrow those ideas and solve your problem in a much faster way and a much more inexpensive way. There is a rigorous science built behind it. 60 years of research has gone into this, and there's a very large community of TRIZ innovation practitioners who are now available to you in Chennai to solve some of the most difficult problems for you. And we want to make sure that this community really leverages such powerful innovation methods to solve the most difficult problems. It has worked for us brilliantly. I'm very confident that it will work for all of you here too. The next chart, please. The last few minutes, what I tried to do is give you a vision for mobility 2030 and said that it's possible for us to achieve zero pollution, that is absolutely zero emission from the vehicles, zero traffic accidents, and the toughest one, zero traffic jams, even if you are in a city like Bangalore. Not only Chennai or Mumbai or Delhi, even the toughest cities will be able to address this problem. And for this, we are looking at 4 very powerful methods. One is to use empathy along with our analytical mind to solve the most difficult engineering problems. The second is to invest in exponentially growing technologies like AI, IoT, additive manufacturing, robotics, and make sure that we are able to use the power of technology to solve this. And the third was to recognize that it's a connected world. Anything that happens in one part is going to affect any other part. So we need to think globally, not locally. Last but not the least, innovative. For those of you who thought creativity or innovation is difficult, I assure you it's a natural thing. God has given all of us sufficient creativity that we'll all be able to build innovative products for the globe sitting here in Chennai. And with that, I want to wrap up the last slide, the next one. With this, friends, we'll be able to visualize a mobility that is absolutely clean, not even one atom of pollution, absolutely. No single accident will ever happen on the roads of Chennai, and absolutely no traffic jams anywhere in Chennai. This is not very far away, just 5 years from now. I'm so happy that I am in this industry, the automotive industry, when such big shifts are happening, and a lot of it is happening right here in Chennai. And Mahindra Research Valley is just 50 kilometers from here. To believe what I said, all you need to do is come over there and see for yourself how we are building world-class products right here in Chennai. This is a brilliant, once-in-a-life opportunity, and we are truly excited to be with that. Thank you. Thank you so much for inviting me to be here and to share this good news with all of you. Thank you. And honestly, we can't do this alone. We would need ideas from all of you to make sure that this really works for Chennai. And if it works for Chennai, it will work for the rest of the world. Thank you so much.
Friends, let's put our hand together and we'll just listen to something which we are going to see in the next 3 decades. We are going to see a lot of change, and what he showed there is what Rotary is also focused on sustainability and the area of focus which we all like to work with, the environment. And thank you, sir, for that excellent, I think a lot of people who missed it are going to really, Yes, sir. Thank you.